Hey y'all, it's Joefer here, the cranky old gay guy. Whew. You're gonna ask, I know you want to ask, what's with the outfit? Well, I haven't had an advice video come out in quite a while. So I'm gonna treat this like it's an advice video, but it's more of a question and answer session. I have here an email that came from a Dana S. First off, he asks, do you ever get these emails? Because you don't respond, and it's like, sometimes things go to junk mail. If something comes in repeatedly and I see the same return address multiple times and I don't recognize it, in my mind it's like, okay, have I opened one of these to see what they are? Because I get a lot of them that say, do you get this? And it's just from spammers. So, if you want to send something in the future, how about in the subject line, you could say advice, if that's what you want. But if it's just an email, just say, hey COGG, or say something like, hey COGG. Hey COGG? No, because there's a spammer that uses COGG too. So how about, oh boy, hey COGG, this isn't spam. There you go. That'll work, and that way it'll flag it. If the system doesn't already grab it and move it somewhere else, I should probably see it. As I explained to this person in an email, I get at least 100 or more emails every morning. I get emails throughout the day, and then I get a bunch before I go to bed. If I don't clear my email box by going down and delete, or move or read, I would be totally overwhelmed by junk emails. So if yours is not a junk email, tell me it's not a junk email and say, hey COGG, this is not a junk email. That way I will know that you're one of the viewers, or hey COGG, well, let's just make it simple. Hey COGG, this is not spam. That way, when that comes across the subject line, I will see it unless they automatically go to spam, and I can go look for it. But I'll see it and I'll be able to open it up and look at it. Now, there's a lot of questions in this email, so I'm guessing these are questions that were saved up because the previous emails weren't answered by me. So if you're going to ask a bunch of questions, I'd probably like to turn that into an episode, just like I'm going to do right here. This person does not ask for advice, so this is a pseudo advice episode. Okay, I am going to put on my grandpa readers because I scribbled little notes on here. I'm going to read you the letter. Hello. Do you think I Dream of Jeannie could be rebooted? My response, yes. Yes, it could. Their response, actually, let's stick with my response. I Dream of Jeannie, yes, but make it a gay show. So, and let's be ethnically tolerant and ethnically, what's the word? I want to say realistic. So your genie's not going to be pasty white beach bimbo from California. Your genie is going to be Arabic, dark hair, dark eyes, and for the hell of it, let's make him super, super, super handsome and muscular. And yeah, he can live in a little bottle. And maybe he said it where Tony, the astronaut in the original, doesn't really need to be an astronaut. Maybe he's an influencer, or let's make him more conservative. They have conservative influencers, but that might be cool. He's super conservative, and he's either on a work assignment, or maybe he's not an influencer. Maybe he's just a super conservative. I want to say conservative and throw in some religious beliefs, non-specific religious beliefs. So he's on vacation. He's somewhere in the Mediterranean, let's say, and he sees this bottle in the sand he picks up, and that's the whole way he finds Jeannie, much like Major Nelson did in the original. And not only does he find him super attractive, and the genie is now going to grant him 3 wishes, but they fall in love. And the whole push pull would be that the character of Tony he's not on board with everything that the genie wants to do. And the genie wouldn't be Genie so much, but the genie's name, we'll just call him Jinn, because that's what a genie is a jinn. Or give him an Arabic name, and shorten it, Americanize it, whatever. But the conflicts would be that Jinn wants to do everything for Tony, but Tony doesn't want everything done for him, and Tony wants to keep this a secret, much like the original. But it doesn't take place in Florida. Next question. How about Be Warlocked? An older man marries a slightly younger man, only to discover he's a warlock. So the younger guy's family isn't okay with the husband and him being gay. So evidently, the family of the younger guy doesn't know that he's actually a warlock. Well, that's one concept. My concept would be, it would be a continuation. So the genie would be named Adam, which was Samantha's and Darren's son on the old 60s TV show. And I know that Adam wasn't made out to be a witch until one of the, I think, the final season's episodes. And they didn't make a lot of it. And it was when Samantha's father discovered that Adam was actually a warlock. Darren did not know. And I don't remember if he found out at the end or not. But anyway, Adam is now living today. So it's at 40, 50, 45. It's like 60 years after the original show. But he still looks, youthful because he's a warlock. And much like witches, they age differently. And in this show, he's conservative, much like his father was conservative. But he falls for a very liberal television host. So this is where the conflicts come in. He has a struggle because the liberal guy is going, oh yeah, just use your power to do this, this, and this. But Adam was taught, because of his father, not to do that. And it's kind of a push and pull kind of thing. I don't know which one would be, and then the liberal guy has friends and family as well, so those will all come into it. And I think that Tabitha could be some hot witch that comes in and out of scene. She's like, rather than have the best friend because she is Adam's best friend, let's just say best friend. And it would be like a traditional sitcom. But the whole issue is, should he use his magic to help his boyfriend, husband, or not? And let's see. Yes, it's easier, this is the next question, for television writers to make a sex scene than to write something deeper that deals with feelings and relationships. 2.5 Men. Was that really a funny show? I hated it at first, and after I got in like a season and a half, I kind of binged it. I did get the comedy of a lot of scenes. The stories weren't great, but the repartee back and forth, some of it did make me chuckle, especially when, like from the maid, what do they call her? What was it? Kochanga? I don't know. I remember seeing her from an old TV series called Hotel Baltimore. Her and Charlotte Rae. They lived in a low-end hotel in New York City, and that wasn't funny. Her name's Conchita on the show. But yes, some of it I did enjoy, and I did watch it until Charlie left, and then I tried to watch it when Ashton Kutcher came back and took his role, or took not the brother role, but the rich guy, the brother role. And it was terrible. The writing was bad. And I think could have been similar writing, but Ashton Kutcher just isn't funny. Now, John Cryer and Charlie Sheen had a really good repartee. John Cryer's son in the show, he wasn't the cutesy little boy anymore. He was now a teen. And then when Ashton Kutcher came on, he was an adult. And he was just bad. He wasn't funny. I don't know why they didn't make him do something with his hair and his facial hair. I know that behind the scenes, he didn't even want to be on the show, and he'd become a fundamentalist Christian, and he was really upset with the way he was portrayed and the fact that he said certain lines and things in early episodes because now he was embarrassed by them. I hope this is all loud enough. I will try to jack it in an editor, but I am outside, and one of the neighbors has a blower or a mower or something going. Okay, and where's the Dr. Phil episode where he helps the actor that was the kid dealing with the damage that scripting put him through? Well, Dr. Phil is not to be found because he's too busy going on ice raids and using for publicity the sorrows of immigrants that are being taken away, where he can spout Trumpisms and lecture these people on why this is the thing that has to happen, because this is the right thing for you to be detained and deported or put away. And that's why we don't see the show with Dr. Phil talking to these young actors, because he's busy doing far-right stuff for his own glory. You need to do a show about the anniversary of the American version of Queer as Folk. That probably will not happen. When Queer as Folk first came out, it was groundbreaking, and it was like, oh, this is pretty cool, but I didn't have Showtime or HBO or whichever pay station it was on. So I would have to watch it elsewhere, someone else's house, or they would be at a bar. And good, it was good. Later years, I did have the channel it was on, and I did watch it, but I thought the storyline got really, really stupid. Once, what's his name? I don't remember his name, but he was the friend with the gap tooth. And I had met him quite a few times when he was here in Portland. He had come to Portland. This is before the show was even shot. He had come to Portland, I think, to do a play. So he was here 3 or 4 months, and he was going to my gym. So I would see him, and, other people say, oh, this is so-and-so. So it'd be brief interactions. We weren't friends or chummy or anything like that. But at the time, I was also acting. I had a full-time job, but I was acting. And I would go to one particular I remember. I went to an audition for a commercial where people are checking out at the grocery store. And when the cashier says paper or plastic, the customer yells, paper? Because they don't, or paper, or why would I use plastic? And it was a commercial, environmental commercial, to get you to get away from plastic bags. Anyhow, we sat in the same waiting area for these auditions, and people go over their lines and their script. And wouldn't you know it, he got the role. I didn't, but I do remember seeing the commercial. His name is Peter, not Peter Parker. If you're a fan of the show, you'll know what his name is, but it's Peter something. He ends up, I guess, in later episodes, hooking up with the guy that's an accountant who was played by a straight actor. And I think even in later is Ted, hooking up with Ted. And then I think that Ted became a drug addict. And Peter's character, God, I don't remember his name on the show either. See, that's how much I wasn't into it, because it just didn't grab me after the first season and a half, 2 seasons. I don't remember. But then Peter helped him go through rehab, and they fell in love again or something. Another thing I didn't like was, again, I haven't seen the show in ages, but the blonde boy's boyfriend, the lead actor, the advertising executive, his wife or ex-girl that he has a kid with, I hated her. The actress. The actress might be fine, but the way that she was directed to play that role, I just thought she was a simp and just so weak. And she's one of those people that I wouldn't want to do a lot of interaction with, because I guess she's kind of a victim all the time, and she just sucks the energy out of a room. I didn't like that. I just didn't. I did like Sharon Gless as Michael's mom. I thought she was a good character. Again, towards the end, I would see little clips here and there in a bar or at someone's house. And I don't know where the story was even going. And I have no idea how it ended. So, no, I probably won't be doing an anniversary thing on that. I did watch the UK version. I think it was on for 2 seasons, or what they call it's 2 series, which is like 4 to 6 episodes per season. And I did enjoy that. And I think that if Queer as Folk, the American version, had been a limited series and maybe only lasted 30 episodes or something, so you could wind down the story, I might have been more grabbed by it, because they'd really have to tighten up the storylines. But they had it go on so long, just like the L Word. They made it go on so long that I lost interest. I did watch the L Word, the entire original series, and I watched I think it's been 2 seasons of L Word or Q, the L Word Q generation, something like that. I also believe it's been canceled. And on that one, it was interesting to see some of the old characters come back, because, you know, it's been 20 years or something. But I didn't care for the acting abilities of some of the new cast. And looking at it in today, or let's say I looked at it in 2024, during the elections, it's a very woke show. I mean, too woke. And Queer as Folk. I watched the reboot of Queer as Folk, the entire season. And you want to talk woke? It's like every scene is pushing, and I'm not calling it woke. I mean, I am, but I'm calling it woke from a conservative's point of view. I think it's just what it is, and it's the way things are in the community. But if you were to label it, it's very DEI. Put it that way. Because I don't want to say woke, because there's nothing wrong with being woke. I personally feel I'm woke. And woke just means that you are aware of the struggles, particularly of people of color, and how they were used to create this country, but they didn't get the same benefits as Caucasians. So yeah, I consider myself woke, but that episode, the Q generation, or if you go to the brand new one, Queer as Folk, and you were to put a bunch of right-wing conservatives in the room and have them view it, they would say woke like almost immediately. Why? Because there are trans characters, and there are disabled characters, and there are bisexual characters, and there are gay characters, and there are lesbian characters, and there are parents who support their children. And there's drag. Oh, that's right. There's a whole drag thing. And I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but I might as well, because I don't think it's coming back. Well, I know it's not coming back, and I don't know if it's in broadcasting or streaming anywhere. But this is after the Pulse nightclub shooting. And of course, being woke, they do a whole thing about that, only it's their nightclub that gets shot up. So I don't know how I got off on this tangent. Oh boy, we're at 18 minutes already. So let's get through these questions. What do you think happened to Chris from the Ritz? And I imagine you mean the Chris character on the Ritz. F. Murray Abraham, so that's his character. Was so great in that. Did he survive AIDS? Did he wind up with a partner? It would be interesting to contact him and hear his view about where his story wound up. Yes, it would be interesting. I've seen the Ritz 3, 4, 5 times over the years. I remember the first time is I rented it because I was looking for some kind of gay-specific video, and I lived in Far East County, away from Portland, in a small town. And I went to a neighboring town that they had a video store, and I looked for gay-themed videos, but they didn't have a section on that. They had a section for bi, but that was only in the porn department. So I went to comedy, and I said, oh, this has Kay Ballard in it. I like her. And I didn't specifically know. I mean, it's not labeled as a gay movie. It's just it's labeled as a 1970s screwball comedy. And I read the back, and it said it took place in a bathhouse. And I knew what a bathhouse was, so I went ahead and rented it. And I've since seen it on television, just regular broadcast, and I've seen it a couple times on one of the cable stations. But I didn't have him, the character of Chris, it didn't really jump out at me. So I had to look up what this character, who it is, just to see old pictures of him, because I know what Murray Abraham looks like now, but I needed to go back and check that out. The people that stand out in that movie, for me, is Kay Ballard, Treat Williams, and the little guy that was chasing, I always want to say Buddy Hackett. It's not Buddy Hackett. He's kind of a chunky guy with frizzy hair, and he plays Kay Ballard's husband, and he's being chased by the mob, so he hides out in a gay bathhouse. And when he goes in, there's this very tiny guy who's into larger guys, so he would be a chaser in today's world. And I remember him a lot because he looked a lot like the actor later years was on a Burt Reynolds. It wasn't Burt Reynolds. It was Coach, the guy who played Coach. Well, anyway, it was the TV series Coach. And he played like an assistant coach. And he, at the time, he's bald and he's got a big mustache. And he's very, very effeminate in Coach, which for the time it was on television, it's kind of surprising they had a gay character, but he didn't play gay as far as I know. I saw Coach maybe 3 times. Why? Because it's about a sports team, and I just didn't give a rat's. So I don't know what happened to Chris because I don't even remember his storyline. I see the stills, and it's like, yes, I remember seeing him, but I don't know what his story was about. Do you ever talk about movies? And yes, and I have reviewed films in the past. Some people like them. Some people say that's not the cranky subject I signed up for. So I haven't done one in a while. If you go back, you'll see the name of the film in the title. I think I've done 2 or 3. And then I talked about like TV shows that, yeah. As far as going to a movie theater, the last time I went was Wicked. That was earlier this year, January maybe. And I went with a group of people. Sitting in a movie theater isn't my thing. 2 or 3 hour films, I'm going to want to go to the bathroom and I'm going to want to pause it. But you can't do that at a movie theater. And I don't like it when people talk during a film. Wicked people were singing during the film, and it was just really, really annoying and made me cranky. So, no, don't go to a lot of movies. You mentioned something called cinema therapy. I did not know about that, and I will need to check that out. I did open the channel before I sat down here, and when you say cinema therapy, in my mind, I thought, oh, that means if you're feeling blue, watch this show, or if you're feeling down but excited, then you'd watch this, or if you're feeling depressed, this movie or TV show will help pick you up. But it looks more like a therapist talking to you. And again, I haven't watched any of the videos, so I'll have to check it out. And I'm not sure what you meant when you said, do you ever get out? Let me see exactly what you said. Ever get out? I guess that's what you said. I don't know what you mean by that. You mean going to a restaurant, sometimes a bar. I go to a bar weekly to play pool. Dating, it's more rare because I just don't have an interest in it. I'm too old to date because dating has a goal, and the goal is to meet new people. And I meet lots of new people just at a bar. And yeah, when I was young, I met lots and lots of people. And getting out, I was out sometimes 4 or 5 times a night, 4 or 5 times a week. But I was also in my 20s. There's a big difference. So what is this beach river you talk about? I see you shoot from there, but you don't give us very much of a look at the surroundings. Well, the last time I was up there, I tried to shoot film, but there were so many people. They walk through the scene. And YouTube is very strict on nudity. And if it's a shot even from across the yard and there's 5 naked people walking by, I would have to go back, and each scene I would have to blur. I would have to cut the video into several little pieces, and then each segment I would have to blur those spots. And that would take hours. or I could just blur the whole thing, but then you wouldn't really be seeing anything on the video. Now, I have done a couple episodes where I do show the scenery up there, and they are Lack of Self-Esteem. That's from September 1st, 2024. So you can look that up in my video section of my channel. And then Rooster Rock Adieu, like goodbye, which was September 27th of 24. So that's something that will show you. You could also look up Rooster Rock State Park on Google. Lots and lots of pictures. If you go to Instagram and search for Rooster Rock Beach, there is an actual Rooster Rock Beach Instagram, and I think there might be one on Facebook. Probably more on Instagram because they seem to let butt cheeks go through just fine. And people who go there just upload to that page. They become a member of that page. I think that's how they do it. I have to follow it. But anyway, every day I get updates of so-and-so and so-and-so have posted to Rooster Rock, or Rooster Rock has new posts. And people go up there and just post pictures of themselves at Rooster Rock. And there's a little bit of nudity, but it's nothing hardcore. And that shows a lot of the scenery as well. Anyway, have you watched Kim's Convenience? I have seen the trailer, but I have not seen it. It's pretty good, great writing. Now, you talked a lot about bad writing. Yes, I have. You have any shows that you like the writing? This is why I find myself watching a lot of PBS anymore. So I don't know if that means you're not watching. I think it means you're watching PBS. Good writing. I think that The Sex Lives of College Girls on Netflix has really good writing. It's not a highbrow show. It's not sophisticated, but it's a comedy, and the jokes are really, really clever, and they're witty, and the comebacks are good, and the naivete character, she plays a good straight man or dumb sidekick. Even if it's her storyline, someone will say something that's everyone in the room knows what the innuendo is, and she'll go, "Is that bad?" or something. Anyway, if you watch the show, and it's about women, and their sex lives, you wouldn't think a gay man would care much about that, and I didn't think I would, but I found the show very humorous and clever. Other shows, Maude, for its time, had really good writing. Because it dealt with social issues, but in a very relatable way. And it wasn't condemning the person that wants to try to understand what's really happening, as opposed to a lot of shows in that era that unless you thought just like everybody else, you were the stupid one. And one other show would be The Golden Girls. Every gay man's favorite series. It was witty, it was clever, it was funny, even if, again, these aren't lesbians. These are just older women who, surprisingly, were in their 50s. I think one of them was in her 40s. Yet they were playing retirees in their 60s. A lot of clever repartee there, dealing with social issues. And the social issues were the late 70s, I think, and the early 80s, maybe. Funny, clever, good writing. The last one I'm going to mention is Frasier. Not the new Frasier. It's not funny. But the old Frasier, characters were good, guest stars were good, clever writing, lots of innuendo. Two brothers who are Frasier and Niles, super stereotypically fey, yet they're both straight on the show. And the episode where Frasier, everyone is taking him to be a homosexual. And I think that's the episode with Patrick Stewart on it as a guest star. And he's trying very hard to prove that he's not. And he and Niles go to a gay bar, or meet him and maybe Patrick Stewart. Anyway, he ends up, I think it's Niles. He goes to a gay bar and he's wearing his tennis outfit. And Frasier, not being a super fit or super slim man, his tennis outfit is super tight, especially the shorts. And the innuendo is that for someone who says he's not gay, he is stereotypically gay. Anyway, that's the the clever writing that I came up with, or thought was clever and good writing. And on that, this video is gotten to be a half hour, so I am going to let y'all go and just say, remember to stay cranky, my friend. Stay cranky. Bye-bye.
He's got sass and he's got style. He'll roast your outfit in a while. Don't ask him twice unless you dare. He's got opinions, he's got flair. Joefer's here to spill the tea. Cranky but fabulous as can be. Ask him your questions, he'll reply with a wink and a side eye. Dear Joefer, why is love so hard? Sweetheart, try swiping left on that bard. Joefer, what's your take on stew? Add more spice and maybe a shoe. He's quick, he's sharp, he's always right. Snapping fingers through the night. Joefer's here to spill the tea. Cranky but fabulous as can be. Ask him your questions, he'll reply with a wink and a side eye. He's got a heart beneath the snark, but don't expect him to disembark from his soapbox